I'm surrounded by a world of sleeping dogs.
Hey team, Kade here. Thanks for tuning in to my weekend video. I got some updates to do. I've got 2 weeks to make up for since I didn't get the chance to make a video last week. But this week we're talking about the straight apology video from Kathy Bladdock, a woman who has been going to pride parades in San Francisco for the last 3 years, wearing a t-shirt, offering apologies from the church, explaining that people that have been hurt by Christians have not necessarily been turned away by God. So it's a really controversial topic. I know we don't talk about religion a lot here, but I think it's something that people deal with and that we should touch on. So that's why I suggested that we use it this week to the other beeves. But hopefully you've got a chance to tune in. The other beeves had a lot of really insightful things to say about this topic, and the things I just wanted to add were that I think it's really, really brave for this woman to do what she's doing. One, she feels like it's her calling to explain to people that it's not their fault that other Christians have the views that they do, and that there is a place for them in God's community. I think that's a really hard thing to say, coming from someone who doesn't understand necessarily or doesn't empathize with the struggle that we have. Because she's straight and she's never had to come out, but at the same time she's attempting to sympathize with us. I think that as far as coming out goes, and as far as at least living in the South, I know I really struggled with faith and religion, and being raised in the Catholic Church like Lori, I did have a separation of church in my life, and was told by numerous pastors and priests that that Christians don't do these things. Catholics don't do these things. Catholics don't get divorced. They don't get pregnant out of wedlock. They don't God doesn't make gay people. And I think that just now are we realizing that as Catholics that a large part of the Catholic Church and of the diocese has been a control by the use of guilt, and it's hard to reconcile that guilt with being a part of something that's bigger than you. I still love the Catholic Church. I wish that I could be a part of it, and maybe at one point I will be able to find a church that is appropriate. But I think something we didn't touch on, or that I don't think I heard any of the other beavers touch on, was the fact that this woman is a straight woman. I think that also is something to comment on, not just the religious aspect of it, because some people aren't religious, but also the straight aspect. There are GSAs all over the country, and while I think they're a great outlet for gay youth, I don't think that the straight part of it is touched on enough. There are tons and tons, thousands of straight supporters, people who either don't really care what you do with your life, or who are extremely supportive in a positive light in wanting you to find who you are and be okay with that. And I think that I wish that there was more of a concentration of straight people involved in those groups. And I've heard in the past of like the Pride Parade. I have some friends that are straight that are biological, that a trans word, just meaning like they're biological guys or girls, and they're straight, and they are completely supportive of the community, and they want to participate in like the Pride Parade and other like gay celebration events, because it's more about being who you are and that being okay than it is about just being gay. That just as this woman Kathy is giving us a straight apology or a Christian apology, saying that there doesn't have to be a division of lines of people, then I think that we could say the same thing. Because of all the hatred and because of all the persecution in the past, some people feel the need to separate, and I hope that we can move past that. I really do. I know that the communities are different, but there doesn't have to be such a strong opposition of me versus them sort of feeling. So tell me what you think about that. If you disagree, if I'm completely off base, that's just my opinion. But also last week we were discussing cougars, older women and dating younger women, dating people that are outside of your age group. And the person who asked the question was graduating early from high school and going to college, and she was wondering about fitting in, if her age was going to make a difference in dating people or meeting new people. And I thought that was a really interesting topic because college is rough regardless of how old you are. But I did want to say that I really don't think that you'll have a problem being 17. One, because a lot of people graduate early, so you might meet other 17-year-olds, and two, college is not always about the clubs or the bars. You know, there's going to be a lot of things on campus, a lot of groups to get involved in, a lot of people just hanging out in the dorms, coffee shops, places that you can go that aren't age restricted. So to that question, I think you'll be fine. But as far as dating older people or dating people outside of your age group, I know a lot of couples that make it work. And I've heard a lot of stories about couples who have no problem with the age difference. My parents are 8 years difference, and they don't seem to have any problem. I do think it depends on what age you are. You know, if you're in your early 20s, then an age difference might be a big gap. Because people younger than you aren't quite going through the same life cycle, I guess, if you will, life stage, whatever you want to call it. You know, they're still in their parents' houses, or their life is still determined by other people. And in your early 20s, you're, you know, trying to find your independence and doing things on your own. And if you date someone older, they might not have the same flexibility. They might already have a family or be well into their career. So I think it just depends on where you're at. But if you have a success story or you have something to say about the straight apology video, let us know. Drop us a line, make us a video. I think next week's topic is going to be just as interesting. So stick around. Have a good weekend. Later.